Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So I try to take the weekends to kind of reflect on what's happened in the past week and do research and see what's going on in the future, how the past things that I've done research on are coming forward, things like that, right? News rolls forward, but there are certain stamps in time that you should be paying attention to. You know, something that says, hey, this is going to be a forward event, meaning it's not happening now, it's going to happen later. So every time the day rolls forward, you check to see if there are any past events that are going to affect the future. So, I kind of do, research on that. So we know that ApeCoin had been going wild before the weekend, and the land auction for Otherside for Bored Ape Yacht Club, or rather Yuga Labs, who owns Bored Ape Yacht Club, happened yesterday, plummeted 40%. Or the ApeCoin value plummeted 40%. We'll dig into that. The Swiss National Bank, the chairman of the Swiss National Bank, has said that, hey, we're not investing in Bitcoin right now. But that's not to say that we won't do it in the future, and we are prepared to do so. Talk about floating a balloon. Cuba, this is big. Cuba is rolling out its regulations on digital assets. What that means is that they're also going to start handing out licensing for digital assets service providers. We'll dig into that. MetaMask and MoonPay have teamed up to create a new on-ramp for Fiat, into MetaMask for its users, right? That's actually huge. I know I'm interested in it because imagine being able to hop on and say, oh, I want to buy something, and be able to buy it, not instantly, but be able to buy it right there on the spot and not have to worry about going to an exchange, buying it on an exchange, having to leave it on that exchange for a while. I'm looking at Coinbase, and then coming back. We'll get into that a little bit more. The United States Labor Department. Oh God, another department that can't just shut the hell up, right? There are too many departments that have something to say about digital assets. And the United States Labor Department is saying that they have issue with Fidelity's Bitcoin offerings for 401k customers. They should all just shut up, do their research, and have one department. But we'll get into that because there's a lot to unpack there. Just in case you have not noticed, total value locked has dropped below 200 billion. One would think that, that has a lot to do with DeFi kingdoms and that backdoor issue that they had go on. So we'll get into that a little bit. Now, after generating over $561 million with their land auction sale for Otherside, Yuga Labs, ApeCoin, previous to the land auction, had hit 26 bucks. It was about, 70 cents off its all-time high. So it was right there. Today, right now, I think it's about $15.81, around there. That's a 40% plunge. Now, they generated a lot of money. Here's what happened. They generated a lot of money, over $500 million. 55,000 coins were, 55,000 NFTs were minted. So, at about $5,800 a pop, right? US. When you think about that, there was such traffic going on, it brought down Etherscan. Not only did it bring down Etherscan, but it actually made gas fees go into the thousands. This is why Ethereum has a problem. This is the thing, right? With more volume come higher gas fees. The greater the volume, the higher the gas fees. How can it sustain I mean, I know a few businesses, local businesses that, do that kind of money. So imagine if they were on Ethereum, they were running on Ethereum. My son's store. You get a few of those and now your gas fees are higher. The more people on that are using that network, it just seems like the price gets higher. And that's enough to make people stop and go, do I really want to accept Ethereum? I mean, you kind of have to. It's kind of like you got to do Bitcoin. Everybody's crying about Bitcoin. Oh, it's proof of work and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, just check the efficiency now. Check the environmental efficiency now. Okay, do that. 60% sustainable energy is being utilized, right? 63% above last year. Now 60% of it. Still a long way to go, but it still uses less energy than other things. Do your research, please do your research. But my problem is that there's so much going on with Ethereum that gas fees just went through the roof. I mean, that's just another planet. That's just another planet. I don't know. I told you we're working on creating we already have a web hosting platform. We're integrating crypto so that it will be native to the platform and not using a third party, increasing fees and things like that. It will be native. And we'll be charging a flat fee, just like as if you just were, collecting in fiat, except you'll be able to use Bitcoin or whatever. We haven't finalized everything yet, but we will be making that press release very soon. But these are the things that we cope with. It's the idea of what about scale? How much is it going to cost? And just so many different things come into play when you think about it. So when we look at it, it's, how do we handle that? How do we make those decisions? But man, ApeCoin, I mean, in a way broke the internet, right? It's crazy. They still plummeted 40 cents, or their coin plummeted 40 cents. And that's the only coin that you can use there. Mind you, OpenSea saw a boon. $242 million of that 561 secondary sales. And those sales happened on OpenSea. Well, not all of them, but 190 million of them. So, it's a lot of, that's good going. That's good going. So we'll see what happens on a go forward basis, because that's a question I have, is what happens after? How is this supposed to be used? So right now, this is a foundationary move. You sold the land. Now what's going to happen? What are people going to build on it? What kind of marketing comes from around that? And does that help drive the price of ApeCoin back up? All valid questions, and that's what I'm thinking about. Now, the Swiss National Bank says, hey, we're not doing Bitcoin yet. We're ready. We can, if our moods change, kind of like that. But we're not yet. And this was announced by their chairman. And you sit there and you just kind of go, are you floating the balloon now to find out, kind of get a feel for what your shareholders are thinking? Because I think that's what Thomas Jordan, that's the chairman, I think that's what he was doing, is trying to figure out, do the shareholders want us to get involved in Bitcoin? Because there are a lot of banks that have. There are a lot of firms with, trillions in assets under management that have. And maybe he's floating the balloon. Because if you're saying that you're prepared to, should things change, you're really trying to read the room. That's what I think is going on right there. Really. Now, Cuba. I told you. Smaller countries that have problems with their fiat or bad economies are going to adopt, and they're going to adopt fast. Here's Cuba. They have their regulations in place, and they're going to start dishing out, different licenses. Now I'm wondering, I'm expecting, the usual players, right? I'm expecting, Binance, Coinbase, FTX, maybe Kraken. I'm expecting the normal players to be involved and get into Cuba. Now, that said, I wonder what those regulations are, because Cuba's not really known for being, you know, the most honest place to do business. Right? So I'm wondering, I'm waiting to see who's doing business there. I'm waiting to see what coins they would bring to the nation, things like that. It's going to be interesting. And it's going to be really interesting to see what the adoption rate is like. Like, how do they adopt? You know, how do they use, where can they use crypto? Going to be a big deal. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. MetaMask and MoonPay have partnered up so that you can use MoonPay to flip fiat into crypto and slap that into your MetaMask wallet. As you know, MetaMask is arguably the most popular web-based wallet out there. Arguably, right? I know it's my favorite, just saying. No, I don't get paid from anybody right now. But the ability to on-ramp fiat, that means I'll be able to go on there, see a coin that I want, whip out a credit card or debit card, and purchase the coin that I want, boom, and it's in my wallet. I don't have to go through a CEX, or CEX, or centralized exchange. And, you know, some of these centralized exchanges, you put your fiat in, they hold that fiat or whatever you purchase using that fiat for X amount of time before you can use it. Coinbase. And then what? Now you get to move it to a wallet. After you must leave it on their platform. Well, this would be an on-ramp outside of centralized exchanges, straight to your wallet. That's huge. So you have to upgrade to the latest version of MetaMask, but that's to be expected, right? But the fact that you'd be able to do that, I know I'm interested. I don't want to have to wait. I mean, so I do have a couple of cheats, right? I'll give you a cheat right now. If I want to buy Bitcoin, you know, I'll buy it using Cash App, because you don't have to. It's yours, right? Or you can send it real quick. You don't have to leave it. You don't have to leave it with them. So I onboard it and I ditch it to my wallet, or I ditch it to wherever it is I need to send it to, or whoever I need to send it to, real quick. No waiting. So I pay maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit more for the transaction. But who cares? I got what I wanted when I wanted it, and I was able to use it immediately. Done. So this being another option for onboarding fiat, yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm all about it. I'm all about it, because the advantage of this is I don't have to use a centralized exchange. Even me using, you know, something like Cash App or one of the other apps that enable me to do something like that, that is still going through another company. That's still going through some kind of centralized company. This way I don't have to go through a centralized company. Yeah, I'll be looking into that big time. How many departments in the United States have to be involved with regulating cryptocurrencies? And seemingly, not many of them, if at all, have any kind of idea about how it works, what it is, the underlying technologies. They're just spewing out just sometimes nonsense about, oh, we've got to protect the investor. What do you mean protect the investor? So the U.S. Labor Department is mad at Fidelity because Fidelity is saying, hey, look, listen, we're going to create something so that our 401k customers can take part in blockchain and, you know, underlying technologies, right? things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, without having to own those particular assets directly. Please tell me how this is different than any other ETF or, stock option or stock out there, right? If the stock market doesn't do well and my 401k is tied to the stock market or bonds or options, whatever, if that doesn't do well, I can lose money, right? I can lose money. What's the difference? Volatility? Stock market has been pretty volatile too. So the difference is what? People need to be educated? Imagine that. People still need to be, educated about stocks. But they're still involved. Yeah, there are some guardrails, but crazy shit happens anyway. Excuse my language, but really, again, get a single regulator in the United States to work with the industry to regulate it appropriately. And then you have a winning combination. Safety, security, freedom, collect taxes. That's all they really want, right? All the money that's floating around the cryptocurrency and Web3 space, and all they can do is spew nonsense. Go get educated. Go get educated before you open up your mouth. Before you jibber jabber, go do some reading, go do some listening, go see what's going on. Go figure that out. Because don't forget, your fiat is jack. Okay? Your fiat is only fiat. It's only worth something because the government says it's worth something. Just saying. Just saying. Going off of that, you got to pay attention to it. TVL, or total value locked. Okay? I mentioned a little bit, DeFi Kingdoms had a backdoor exploit, and somebody who was on the periphery of the project used it and has been using it for a long time to sell Jewel. Right? Jewel's supposed to be locked in. Well, this would make it, the backdoor exploit makes it so that you can unlock it and sell it. So this person's been doing it for a while. So that means because there was a backdoor and people have exploited it, people have lost faith in DeFi Kingdoms. As you can imagine, DeFi Kingdoms was pretty popular. And people lost money, big money, and they lost trust in the project. They have yanked their money. So total value locked, plummeted below 200 billion. Below 200 billion. That's a big deal. That's a very, very big deal, because that you should be looking at every DeFi project, right? DeFi projects are great so long as they have the security in place and everything else. How are you checking things? You see how I was harping on Cardano and how they try to be as sure-footed as possible before they move forward? I mean, they bang on their code hard before they release something. Hard. They have an upcoming fork, the Vassal fork. Hope I'm getting that one right. But they're banging on that hard before it happens. It's supposed to happen in June. So when you look at any project out there, do your research. Know what kind of security do you have? Because it only takes one mistake. Look at Ronin Bridge. What was the mistake and how are you fixing it? Well, Ronin Bridge said, hey, we have a mistake. We caught it. It cost us over 600 million. But we're going to work hard to make sure everybody is made whole, meaning we're going to get you your money back. Wow. Okay, that's forgivable in my eyes, right? The reaction and the reaction time, the swiftness of what happened, that tells me okay. That tells me okay. Ronin Bridge is reacting properly. But DeFi Kingdoms, this wasn't like a hack. Oh, by the way, Ronin Bridge, that was a hack that happened, by us, that was conducted by a state-sponsored hacking group. It was sponsored by North Korea. Or that's what's alleged. Actually, Ronin Bridge actually confirmed that. So looking at DeFi Kingdom, this wasn't a hack. This was a backdoor. This was something that was built in. Whoa. Nobody knew about that? Nobody knew about that. Somebody had to have known about that because it got leaked. And things started plummeting. Everybody started just freaking out. Like, what's going on with Jewel? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, and then it came out. That's what's going on. So, George Tong was talking about this and he said, well, I don't know that, DeFi Kingdoms can recover from this. He had money in there. I had none. Not because I'm also good, but just because I hadn't completed my research. So if I don't complete my research, I don't make a move. And I figured, I'm looking at some of these DeFi projects and I'll look at them over a span of time to see what the story is. It doesn't mean I don't do staking, but I'm doing staking like a puppy, right? I'm doing staking like through Coinbase or some of these other tiny little itty bitty little things. I'm not doing something that's offering crazy returns. I'm getting returns like 4%, 5%, if that. So I'm not doing that level of staking. So it's sort of like I put my money, if my money is in this, in this centralized exchange. They're kind of acting like a bank. They're going to use it to go do stuff. I get a percentage. Boom, 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 boom. That's the way banks were supposed to work. They don't work like that anymore. They just keep charging you with fees and fees and fees. But I see that and I just go, wow. So where's the trust? But that's a lot. That's a lot to talk about. But let's get into the numbers because the numbers for some have been horrible and the numbers for others have been, horrible. So like I said, that's a big deal to be under $200 billion, right? That's kind of large. But look at ApeCoin. Right now it's saying it's down 15%, but at $16.21, 3 days ago, it was at 26. It dropped $10. Excuse me. That's a huge drop, just to put that out there for you. Kronos had a huge drop, 11%. I haven't done the research to find out why, but crypto.com hasn't been doing anything that's been making me happy right as of late, because that's a big drop, right? Is there anybody else on here that I'm paying attention to, on the loser side, rather? And the answer is no. The answer is no, except for those two. I mean, I don't have any ApeCoin, but I do hold some Kronos. On the plus side, there are a lot of winners, but is there anybody on here that I've been paying attention to? Phantom's gone up. That's kind of cool. That's a 17% gain if you were holding that. Near Protocol up 16%. That's a big deal. Harmony 13. The Sandbox 13. Helium, the Sandbox at 11. Helium, HNT at 10%. Those are really good gains. You're looking at Axie Infinity. You're looking at these puppies right here at 10%. Axie Infinity, Arweave, Zcash. I don't know anything about Just. BizSwap, I have no idea about that. Loopring, that's kind of surprising to be up. Cadena, after being down, I'm not surprised that it's back up given its movement, right? Gala coming back up a little bit. That's kind of cool to me because I'm sitting back and I'm going, that's nice. That's a nice little move, up 9%. It's got to come up a lot more for me. But there's a lot going on around Gala. They're saying that Gala, a lot of people are saying Gala's got the best metaverse out there right now in terms of metaverse gaming. So I think Gala has an opportunity to keep popping up a bit. So we'll see. I mean, but look at their all-time high, 82 cents, and they're all the way down here at 14. It's got a long way to go, a long way. But it is one of the coins that I am tracking. I do own some Gala, so I am paying attention to that. So I think it's a cool thing. The fear index is at 22. Yesterday it was at 20. So that was kind of a big deal. Even 2 days ago it was at 22. No, at 20 as well. I should say it like that. And look at this. We're at 38,000. 38,711 for Bitcoin. It's not a beautiful thing, but to me, again, everything's on sale. Luna's at $83. It was up at at the 100 and change level, significantly up. What was it, 117 or something like that? So that's a big deal. Solana being down underneath 100, that to me is a sale price. Cardano at 79 cents. Is that 79? Yeah, 79 cents. That's a big deal to me. So these are all things that I'm looking at and saying, hey, these are buying opportunities that where I think things can happen, right? So pay attention to what's out there. Do your own research. Please do your own research. I do my research every day because I'm all about the growth of my bag. I just want to grow my bag. That's it. I just want to grow my bag. I got kids. I have aspirations. I want to grow my bag. So do your own research so you can grow your bag. All right. This is Eddie J on crypto. Hope you have a great day. And if you like what you're hearing, do me a favor, hit the like button, definitely subscribe, and definitely hit that notification bell so you know whenever I drop a new video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.